live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. You got the right to live. So go and live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. Let's start the party. Start the party. Live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. You got the right to live. So go and live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. Let's start the party. Start the party. Live it up.
I'm dangerous like tightrope. No talking, not that of a maestro. More like that lizard from Geico. When I lick, you go psycho. Downtown, I'm more famous than Michael. My game, I gave it to Tycho. Gene Simmons up my time. Whoa, got mind control. Damn control. Up to your spine and back down to your toes. Melt you, little mama, like Pie Lamo.
Happy Hump Day! Welcome everyone to the Xander Effect. I'm your host, Xander Dames. Got a lot of cool stuff to talk with you guys about today, including Harvey Weinstein sentenced to 23 years in prison. That's going to be in entertainment news. Brian Ortega issues apology to Jay Park after slapping him at the UFC event. In sports and in video game news, E3 2020 is officially canceled. We'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about that. Plus, I have special guest, hip-hop artist TWIZM Whyte Piece on the show. He's going to talk to us a little bit about his struggles, things that he went through, and one certain event that completely changed his life for the better and for his family's wellness as well. But first, here is Polyna's Complicated, a Fallow remix right here on the Xander Effect.
So glad you're moving on while I'm just stuck in memories. Even if I moved to outer space, I couldn't forget your face. It's complicated. I'm spending all my time on the things you said. Needed me to let me clear my head. It's complicated. I can't, but I gotta let it go. I can't, but I gotta let it go.
That was Polyana's Complicated, a Fallow remix right here on the Xander Effect. In entertainment news, Harvey Weinstein is sentenced to 23 years in prison on rape criminal sex act convictions in New York City. So today, pretty much, justice was served for many women that were raped by the former Hollywood mogul. And it's crazy because during the sentencing, he actually had a few words. Harvey Weinstein's been pretty quiet during the whole process. And he had a few things to say when he was sentenced, when he was asked if he had anything to say about, everything. And he still stands by his word that he thought he actually thinks that he did nothing wrong, which is so freaking disturbing and crazy at the same time to think that this guy actually thinks that he did nothing wrong to so many women. I mean, if you have like God, I don't even know. I've lost count of how many women came forward to accuse him of this, then gee, there might be something wrong with you, bud. At the end of the day, that's pretty much all it boils down to, is to how many women you actually did so wrong. And because of that, he was tried and convicted and now sentenced. And many women are very, very happy that justice was served in that process. Harvey Weinstein went on to say, to tell the court, quote, "Thousands of men are losing due process. I'm worried about this country." He also said that he was trying to protect these women. Protect them from what? Exactly. I mean, this doesn't make any sense. He was actually under the impression that he's had a good relationship with all these women, and basically he maintained that all of the extramarital affairs were all consensual. And he still thinks he did nothing wrong. Of course, every criminal is always going to say they did nothing wrong, just to go ahead and save themselves. I mean, Harvey Weinstein is 67 years old. By the time he gets out of prison, he'll be in his early 90s, if he even makes it that far. Apparently, from what his lawyers and everybody else is saying, he's got a lot of health issues, and they're pretty much afraid that he's not even going to last the 23 years in prison. More than likely, he'll end up probably dying in there. That's what a lot of his attorneys and his health officials are claiming. But at the same time, they have to go ahead and say this because they want to see if they could appeal it and get him less time. But you know what? At the end of the day, you get exactly what you were convicted for and what you deserve. If they found you guilty, they found you guilty. There was multiple women that came forward and testified against you. Amongst them were the victims Miriam Haley and Jessica Mann. Both of which were actually pretty. They were very satisfied with the conviction. Haley went on to say, quote, "I could only hope whatever sentence, it's long enough for him to acknowledge for what he has done to me and others." She went on to say, "I believe that if Harvey Weinstein was not convicted by this jury, it would happen again and again and again. Rape is not just one moment of penetration, it's forever." There was even reports that Harvey Weinstein tried to reach out to Amazon mogul Jeff Bezos and a couple of other people to try to help him pay for some of his legal fees, because he's completely broke. He has no money coming in. He also went ahead and contacted Michael Bloomberg to see if he could get help from them. And so far, it seems that there were reports that neither one of them responded. I mean, gee, why would you? The guy's a convicted rapist, and so many people are coming up to you like, you don't want to get mixed up with something like that. You want to stay the hell away from that. So I don't blame him for that. Justice was served today, and that's the bottom line. In other entertainment news, Coachella and Stagecoach festivals are rescheduled to go off without a hitch in October. Well, at least so far. It was reported earlier this week that Coachella decided to postpone their event. It usually happens in April. And there was there was a statement issued that basically said, at the direction of the County of Riverside and local health authorities, we must sadly confirm the rescheduling of Coachella and Stagecoach due to the COVID-19 concerns. While this decision comes at a time of universal uncertainty, we take the safety and health of our guests, staff, and community very seriously. We urge everyone to follow the guidelines and protocols put forth by public health officials. So that's going to be a lot of sad news. You know, it's going to be sad news for a lot of fans that love going to these events. A lot of celebrities, especially, that love going to these events. Coachella went ahead and continued on saying, Coachella will now take place on October 9, 10, and 11, and October 16, 17, and 18, 2020. Stagecoach will take place on October 23rd, 24th, and 25th, 2020. All purchases for the April dates will be honored for this rescheduled October dates. Purchasers will be notified by Friday, March 13th on how to obtain a refund if they are unable to attend. So that's cool that they rescheduled it, but the issue here is that the COVID-19, the coronavirus, is not said to be cured by then. I'm assuming that they're probably rescheduling it by then because they're hoping that officials, you know, put a cap on it and pretty much they keep it, you know, contained at least, and start minimizing the exposure of the virus, because health officials, U.S. health officials, have already said that there will not be a vaccine until not for another year, maybe longer. So that's the unfortunate part. And but I mean, again, it's one of those things where you can't really stop, you know, continue on with business, because obviously the stock market, everything has been affected. Businesses, everything, cruise liners, airports, everything has been affected by this virus to the point that, you know, they can't really just stop everything. So I'm assuming that by then they're hoping that things get better, and if they do, great. If they don't, looks like they might have to reschedule it again. In other entertainment news, Vin Diesel teases a big surprise for Fast and the Furious, the new movie that's coming out, Fast and Furious 9. He was seen at the red carpet event for his new movie Bloodshot, and so far it seems that there's a lot of an all-star cast coming back for Fast and Furious 9 for F9. This includes Kurt Russell and Charlize Theron so far, and also Oscar winner Helen Mirren. They're all making a comeback for the new movie, for the new F9, which is really cool. It stars John Cena. John Cena plays Vin Diesel's character's Dominic Toretto's brother in the movie. But Vin Diesel still apparently has another ace up his sleeve, saying that, quote, I can't tell anyone, but it is so awesome. That's pretty much as far as, and he also went on to say there is a big surprise coming. So he left it very vague, very, very cryptic. So we don't know exactly who's going to be coming back. And if it's everybody, and if it's very awesome, I mean, who knows? Who knows who they're planning on bringing back? I mean, there's just like an all-star cast already in here, so it'll be very interesting to see who they're gonna bring in. Maybe Eva Mendes might make a comeback. Remember, she was in a lot of the Fast and Furious, or in a couple of the Fast and Furious movies. She was definitely in Too Fast, Too Furious, and then she made a cameo at the end of one of the Fast and Furious movies. So there is possibilities that she may make a comeback. She may come back for that, or they may just put in somebody huge in the movie. I mean, you never know. I mean, it could be Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, who knows? But it looks like Vin Diesel's pretty excited about who's going to be making an appearance in the new Fast and Furious 9. Guess we'll have to wait and find out and watch the movie. In other entertainment news, I had the opportunity to interview an up-and-coming hip-hop artist by the name of TWIZM Whyte, and his story is one story that is very hard, but at the same time very inspiring. He's gone through a lot of trials and tribulations in his life, and he's trying to make up for it through music. Plus, stay tuned, because he does have a pretty huge announcement that you're gonna want to stick around for. So on the Xander Effect, I have TWIZM Whyte. He's an up-and-coming hip-hop artist. TWIZM, how you doing, man?
Man, super cool, brother. How are you today?
It's a rainy day in my paradise, but, you know, other than that, we're all good to go over here.
At least it's a paradise, right?
And well, with the coronavirus, who knows now, you know?
I know, right? a quarantine paradise.
Yeah, right? Exactly. It's freaking crazy, man. But we're not here to talk about the coronavirus because that's been like way over talked about. We're here to talk about you and how your music is like, you know, quickly growing. And I even read that, you know, basically there's a comparison that says if Eminem, you know, it's on your website, it says if Eminem were Tupac, then TWIZM Whyte would be the Notorious B.I.G. That's a bold statement to actually, you know, be in comparison, because those are, all three of those are huge icons in the industry.
Yeah, and you know what? I stand by every sense of the word. I mean, you know, obviously I'm still a diamond in the rough right now, but, you know, with my resume and ability and confidence, not to mention just the sheer smoothness of the originality, you know, that's why I get compared to Biggie a lot, because Pac had that rough, aggressive gangster kind of flow. That's a lot like what Eminem does. He's that, you know, that aggressive attack flow.
Agreed.
You know, Notorious B.I.G. had that laid back, you know, charming, let's call it, you know, a superbulous flow. You know what I mean? It was very swagalicious. Yeah, suave, great one. You know what I mean? So that's more where I like to stay in line with, you know, ladies songs, you know, good party songs, good vibing songs. So that's why the comparison is there, because you know, I don't really care about beefing with anybody, man. I'm more about, you know, just trying to peace, love, chill, and enjoy the moment. You know what I'm saying? We only got so long, so.
No, I agree with that. And yeah, you definitely have. I was going to actually say that listening to your song, I actually heard, I was like, yeah, you know, he does have kind of a Eminem feel to it, but less aggressive, less, you know, hyped, and more just relaxed, more like LL Cool J style.
Yeah, LL, you know, another one I'm compared to, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was listening. But talking about, you know, you not wanting to beef with anybody, you did come from a very rough background of gangs and a very violent background. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, we could start all the way back in the past with my father, you know, committing murder back in the day, and of course going away for life on that. My mother got locked down in prison. We have that whole traditional no mother, no father background, raised by the streets. And of course, being raised by the streets comes with, you know, peer pressure and, you know, negative influences, man. And so I grew up living out of boys' homes and institutions and shoot, man, moved so many different states and so many different cities, because everywhere I'd go, man, it's just one bad decision after another, whether it be selling drugs, whether it be selling guns, whether it be breaking and entries, robberies, man, whatever it is, man. I don't like to glorify it, because, you know, I believe that's what's wrong with the world. We glorify all the negativity, right? So, you know, part of being who I am is accepting responsibility for what I did, but, you know, also showing that we can overcome what we were, you know what I'm saying? Just because I may have kicked in a door and you know, held some guns to people or sold, you know, guns by bucket load, man. It just, you know, there's a better place than where I'm at now, that I can be able to sit back and look at people and say, you know, yeah, I did these evil things, but let's not talk about them. Let's talk about what we can do to make the world a better place. You know what I mean? So.
No, and I completely agree with you, man. I mean, that's an incredible outlook to go ahead and see your future, where you're going, and you know what you're doing now. But what exactly made you suddenly change your ways? I mean, from what I understand, there was a specific event in your life that made you wake up and say, no more. I'm going to go ahead and go clean and just, you know, focus on the good stuff of life.
So let's say October 31st, 2013, man, we were taking, I have 5 kids altogether, but at that time I only had 4 with one on the way. And we were taking the other 4 kids to Halloween, and we came back from Halloween, and we were sitting outside, and it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were sitting with my neighbor who, you know, happens to be the king of the block, man, and I happen to be his right-hand man, you know what I'm saying? So we were sitting outside chilling and whatnot, and this car just kind of creeped up on us and started shooting at us with AKs and 9mm, and From that, my wife fell on the fence, and my son was born 5 months early. Two of my friends were shot and hit. And from the pictures, if you look, man, I literally missed being a casualty of the ghetto violence by probably 4 or 5 inches, man. And if it weren't for one of my friends actually falling on top of me and pushing me out of the way, I probably would have died right then and there. There's also another picture of my kid's window. And right above my kids' window is like a bullet hole from an AK-47 bullet. And it literally goes right above the window and right over the bunk beds of my 2 kids, which that's crazy, right? When you've got kids as a parent, you see how close they come to being, victims yourselves. You hold yourself responsible, and you say, you know what, maybe it's my actions, because they're not the ones making bad actions.
They're the innocent ones.
Yeah, exactly. And out of that summer, man, I lost 6 friends that summer to gun violence, and that was the worst summer that Indianapolis had ever seen for gun violence. I think pretty much in the history of Indianapolis. You could pretty much set your clock by the killings that happened every Sunday. And my house just happened to be right in the middle of it. So every time the gunfights went down, me being the one, I was right standing outside with a gun in my hand, trying to protect another friend or trying to protect my house, or, and just the accumulation of all of these choices and all of these situations, you just come to realize at one point in your life, you're like, I'm in over my head. And something to happen if I don't get out now. You know what I mean? And, call it God, call it a higher power, call it whatever you want to call it, man. Whatever made that push in my life to change and to move away from that, it's probably the only reason I'm still alive, man. It's the only reason I'm still alive.
Wow, that's incredible, man. I'm glad that you got out of that life, because and you know what? You wouldn't think either, because Indianapolis is a predominantly Caucasian, type of, place.
Well, I don't know. It used to be. It may have used to be, but now it's not so much. Now it is very much a multicultural city, man. Very much so now.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, I'm like I said, man, I'm happy that, you got out of that. Question, were you doing hip hop while you were involved in all this, or did the hip hop happen after? No,
I've been doing hip hop for about 15, 16 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, maybe even longer than that, probably looking at about 17, 18 years now. I started doing hip hop. Let's say I've been doing it as a hobby and as a lifestyle choice for about 17, 18 years. Professionally and on a serious level, let's say since 2008. So, what's that, 12 years? You know what I mean? So, I was doing this, and in fact, I was heavy into touring at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was leaving my kids and my family at home a lot at that time. I was in a lot of different clubs at that time, so there was a lot of different, confrontations that occurred during that time period. In fact, I would say that, a lot of my decisions were made during my career based upon the lifestyle that I was living. So, it kind of glorified the life that I was living. And as a rapper, that's what everybody wants to hear, and that's what everybody wants to see. So I was making big success off of that, right? Mm-hmm. Talking about selling weed and guns and all this stuff. And yeah, man, for the time period, I guess that kind of worked. And, that's who I was and whatnot. But as we've grown and progressed, obviously I can't sit there and talk about things that used to be, right?
So that was actually going to be my follow-up question, is whether or not your lyrics have changed since, you decided to make a change for yourself.
Yeah, obviously we still wrestle with our demons, and one of my demons is, my past.
Yeah,
so, I still have my moments where aggression and anger and frustration get the best of me, but for the most part, I like to stay as real to the idea of being an iconic Caucasian change in hip hop. Which in itself means that I have to change my mindset. I have to change my actions. I have to change who I am in order to become the person that is worthy enough to carry that title. And I do this because I look at my kids and I listen to what they're listening to, and I see the influences that they have. And as much as they think I'm a joke, man, you know, if I was to make it big like these people that they're looking at, then they might tend to follow after me. And maybe I'm saving their lives. Maybe I'm saving some other children's lives. Maybe some kid that's doing the gang activity right now looks at me and says, you know what, man? I can do this. I can make it, you know? And I know a lot of people say, well, you know, Eminem already did that, but I don't feel like Eminem is doing his due diligence to his iconic status. I mean, he may be an icon, but he's an icon for all the wrong reasons. It's time to show you, or to show the world, I guess, what a good quality, you know, guy is that wants to change the world. I mean, I'm not trying to fight anybody. I want to help the person down the road with their bills, and I want to get the homeless off the streets. And mostly I'm about the kids, man. There's no kids that should suffer. You know what I mean? That's really what I'm about. So.
No, that's a very good, you know, that's a very good way to look at life, and, you know, to look at your craft, to use your craft actually for that kind of a platform. The other thing I was wondering is that when you mentioned that you get, you know, obviously we all get upset, we all get angry, but with such a past that you have, do you usually find yourself tempted to go back to the life sometimes if somebody, like, you know, maybe an enemy irks you wrong, or do you use that and put it in your lyrics instead and say, you know what, instead of me doing this is my therapy, I'm going to go ahead and release my anger on the next song?
I'm going to tell you honestly, from, you know, just from the bottom of my heart, that it is every single person who is supporting the idea that together we can affect change in the world through hip hop that is saving my life. If it were not for music right now, if it were not for this hip hop career that I have and the responsibilities that I have and the dedication that I have given to this career and this lifestyle, I would be dead. I would be back on the streets. I would have already, there's many a time I've already considered it, but I look at this and I say, you know what? I've came too far. I came too far. And if I throw it away now, then I never deserved it in the first place. And that's kind of like slapping everybody in the face, whoever believed in me, whoever supported me, whoever bought an album, whoever, you know, rep my name on social media or rep any of my merchandise. That's slapping them all in the face. And you know what, man? I come from the streets, man. You just don't disrespect people like that. You know what I mean? You carry yourself a lot more classy and proper than that. So, I mean, that's where I'm at. No, it's saving my life, bro. It is straight up.
That's good. That's good, man. So it is. So in essence, it is therapy. And in essence, you actually you go by the old saying, you know, I didn't make it this far to just make it this far.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, look, I guess when I said that I had a dream that meant bigger than what I'm doing right now. I mean, some people are like, you know, why aren't you satisfied with what you got going on now? Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's great. It's wonderful. But when I see what's going on with the world, as a human being, I can't just stand by. It bothers me inside. There's something inside of me that gets annoyed and irritated watching the suffering of other people. And, you know, maybe I'm the one with mental issues or something, but I feel like it's my responsibility as a human being to listen. I've done so much evil in this world. I think it's my responsibility now to be the hero. And so I'm going to be the hero. I'd rather be the hero. Well, hero's the right way.
Hey, you know what? That's a good. That's a better way than the latter. So
yeah, exactly.
So let's go. Let's switch gears for a second. Let's go to your name, TWIZM. Whyte. Yeah. Obviously, TWIZM. The world is mine. That's the acronym for TWIZM. But Whyte Piece. Where did the name come from? Where did the entire name come from?
That's my street, man. That's my street name, bro. That's what they call me on the streets. They call me Whyte Piece, man. If they say you need something, man, go holler at Whyte Piece, man. If you need to cop something, go holler at Whyte Piece, man. Basically, I was a one of a kind white individual. I mean, most of the white people that they meet in the hoods are not like me, and I'm not like one of those types that's all tatted up and talking all slanged out and banging and all this. Like I'm a legit dude, straight up. I'm just me, but I chose a lifestyle that got me into a lot of situations and where a lot of evil and harm was done. And you know, I came out winning every time and you know, blessings to the higher power. But, you know, I can only think about the other people, you know what I mean? And that's, you know, that it causes me to lose sleep now I mean, my eyes are always black. You know, I have nightmares now of the things that I've done in life. And, you know, in some sense, I'm trying to redeem myself. You know what I mean? Like, maybe if I can save enough people in the world, I can save myself. You know what I mean? Like,
I get that.
It's crazy, bro. I know it is. But, you know, like I said, this game really saves me. These fans really save me. The changes that I make to try to be the musician that I want to be, that's what's changing. That's what's saving me. You know, because it's causing me to make different changes. And I hope that somebody listens to this, and I hope that they say, you know what, maybe, man, if he can do it, maybe I'll help you. I'll help whoever needs help, man. Don't act like you ain't got somebody, because there are people out here who still want to help the world, still want to save it.
That's good, though. That's good to hear, man. So you're balancing being a dad and being a hip-hop artist. How's that balance treating you?
Shit, that's hard as hell.
I bet.
Oh my God, is it ever? Okay, so first, let's just take away the busyness of having 5 kids. I mean, you hear my dog going crazy right now because the kids are outside playing and he wants to be out there with them. So I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another, right?
Right.
But then you try to add that into recording, mixing, mastering, promotion, video work,
interviews.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? For the most part, I've got the most supportive family in the world. I mean, obviously, you know, after so many years, they all would like to see me make it now, like, you know, for real make it, because they've seen how many nights and how many and how much money, and, you know, just they've watched, they're on the backside of it, right? But, you know, they've been really supportive. They help out with the songs. My kids are the ones that help me do my videos. You know, my daughter helps me with the album covers. She's wicked cool on Photoshop. And there's been some really great people like Jimmy Starr and Eileen Shapiro from World Star. They're amazing. I've got, you know, Bruce from B&S Designs. That guy was just incredible as a sponsor. I mean, Mike from Anything Goes Project. That dude is a really great help right now. I could go on and on. Music City 2018, WOAP Radio. It's all because of these people who are actively pushing and promoting the idea of TWIZM White Piece. Because it is so unique and so refreshing, it's actually being absorbed. And, you know, I mean, isn't that what it's about, right?
Of course.
But yeah, so
that's cool though. That's cool that you have your family that you guys are all working together as a unit, you know, because that's the most important thing to have is family that supports you and, you know, is in fact helping you out as much as possible, because this business, it's cutthroat, man. It's difficult, and there's a lot of sharks and snakes out there, man. You always got to be careful.
Well, there's more sharks and snakes than there are the real. And you know, that's a lesson that I've learned repeatedly over the years. I mean, my advice to anybody trying to do this is go be a doctor or a lawyer. I mean, I'm dead serious. The world's full of enough rappers. Why don't we try to get some educated people out here actually doing something with life? Because it seems like everywhere you turn, somebody's a rapper. And you know, my family, like I said, my family, they watch me bleed for this. They watch me die for this every day. They watch me cry because I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I should be. And as much as everybody thinks I'm so amazing, that's great. But we need to rally together to get that final push. You know what I mean? And that's where my family comes in really strong. You know, my wife is absolutely my rock. If not for her, I'd be a ball of sand on the ground. You know what I mean? So it's incredible to see the responses when it's needed. You know what I mean? It's different to have people in your ear like, oh, yeah, that's awesome, that's awesome, that's awesome. But it's another thing that when you're totally down and out, somebody comes in and scoops you up and says, don't worry, we can walk together. You know what I mean?
No, that's fantastic. And then, I mean, and you got 14 albums under your belt so far with another one on the way, right?
Actually, man, I want to announce right here on your show, man, I wanted to make your show the official announcement, man, that...
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I have just released my 15th album. It's known as 2020 TWIZM. And I'm going to tell you right now, it is proof that I am the only other great white artist besides Eminem. And that is no disrespect to any other artist out there trying of the Caucasian influence. It is just that it's time to put up or shut up, and this album definitely drives it all the way home. There's no denying it. There's no, arguing it. You can read the reviews. You can read what people are saying about it. And it hasn't even been released yet. And people just heard it, because they subscribe and they get those early releases and stuff, right? So they heard about it before I even got a chance to talk about it. And they're loving it. They're loving it. They're loving it. So, I mean, yeah.
That's fantastic that there's so many people that are loving it. How is it when you go up on stage and you see all these people, waiting to hear you, waiting to hear you perform?
Okay, so I've done 164 shows in 2 different countries.
Wow.
And I'm getting ready to do 165. If everything goes good, there is a coronavirus thing going on here in Toronto. So,
yes.
It's still up in the air. But I will say that no matter what stage I get on, no matter what song I'm doing, and no matter what crowd it is, I walk away and they remember me. And that to me is the most important thing. I've been approached out on the street like, hey man, ain't you that guy that put on that awesome show the other night? Yes. You know what I mean? And they're like, and of course, I myself am a performing artist. So seeing people's reactions, seeing them jumping up and down, seeing those bright lights, that's my paradise, right? That's my rainy paradise right there. You know what I mean? So,
that's your quarantine paradise.
Quarantine paradise. Exactly. So, So I mean that in itself, the performing part of it is just, that's everything right there.
No, that's amazing, man. So at your next performance, by the way, provided, of course, this virus isn't is canceling a bunch of things. We just heard that the Coachella here in California is actually postponed now because of the coronavirus.
And the SWSX conference or whatever.
Yeah,
it was
South by Southwest has also been canceled completely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's also done as well. So provided that with this whole thing that's going on, and you're able to perform, where exactly is your next performance?
It's called the Whalen Bar. It is in Toronto, Ontario. It is part of the Coast to Coast tours that they got going on. They've expanded here into the Toronto area. So it's actually opened up a lot of performance opportunities for, you to be able to, meet, greet, network, things like that. So, and of course, I'm all about that because, as an independent artist, your network is your net worth. So
that's what counts.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's cool, man. That's cool. And of course, you'll be performing songs from your new album.
Tentatively, yeah. I might be there just promoting it and doing a different one. But if all goes well, I might do one off of here. I'm still waiting to see who likes what. It's still fresh. It's still new. I like to get a feel of what's the most popular songs off of there because the way I write my albums, I write them for everybody. So, I mean, they have love songs, they have motivation songs, they have party songs, they have a song for everybody. But then there's usually that one song that seems to be the commonality between everybody, right? So I'm waiting to see what that one is still.
No, that's awesome, man. And right after we're done talking here, I'm going to go ahead and actually play one of the songs from your album called Overdose. But before we go into that, just out of curiosity, how can people follow you? How can they stalk you on social media? Check out all you got going on, all your events, everything.
Okay, so check it out. First off, man, I'm very heavy on Twitter, which is TWIZM White Piece. And of course, you can find me on Facebook under TWIZM White Piece and on Instagram under official TWIZM WP. Now, easiest way to do that is to go to the website official TWIZMWhitePiece.com, or you can go to smarturl.it/TWP/FCR music, and it'll take you to everything, everywhere, all around the world. It's got my press release in there. It's got everything you need to know, man. And of course, it's, we live in a world where everything should be easily accessible with a tap of a button, right? So I've got songs on there for you to download. If you want to download some of the past ones, we're actually getting ready to upload some of the newer ones. So that'll be exciting. A lot of the fans love our newer music because it's, more professionally done and whatnot. And so, we like to keep our events there. And of course, I also have a radio station called FCR 247. And we do a lot of our events there. So I'm cross coordinating between the two websites, right? So.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man, it sounds like you're incredibly busy, and like I said, we're gonna be playing Overdose here. Before I start playing that, tell me a little bit about the song and the lyrics.
Okay, so Overdose is an attempt to show the world that you can talk about conversations that may not be so appropriate, like cocaine or marijuana or alcohol or things like this, but use them in a way that, I'm not saying that I'm any cleaner or any more pure than some of the other rappers out there. What I am saying is that I put it together in a manner where you don't feel so dirty afterwards listening to it. And this song is about love, and it's about the addictiveness of love and how you're willing to just forget about everything else and focus on that person and that love that you have with that person. And it's numbing and it's addictive like cocaine, and it makes you loopy and airheaded like marijuana, and you get drunk and comatose like as if you were drinking. And that, my friend, that is love.
That's a very interesting way of saying that is love, but hey, to each his own, right?
You got it, man. You got it.
Right on. Well, with that being said, TWIZM Whyte, please, thank you so much for being on the Xander Effect,
this was great, man. This was great. Thank you.
I'm happy you had a good time. I had a good time too. Hopefully I get to have you on the show again very soon.
Yes, man. Whenever you're ready, you just let me know. You let publicists know, and we'll go from there, man.
Sounds good, guys. Up next, we have TWIZM Whyte Pieces Overdose right here on the Xander Effect.
TWIZM. Heart is throbbing, glad I met you. I'm your Robin, the hood is where I met you. Made up with you. Late night wrestling, never slept with you. More than friends, yes. More than lovers, yes. Hold me close, there is no other. I'm your rock, you're my pleasure. Overdose on you, there's nothing better. Late talks, AM walks, X on my heart, that's your mark. From the start, kisses after dark in your heart, that's my spark. You know me, stone lover, make your body weak from the way I hold you. It feels so right the way you hold me tight. Eyes open in the middle of the night. We grinding through high as fuck, just like we do when it's like we do it right. You're my passion lover, touches, kisses, neck and shoulder. Vodka bottle, empty, drunk in love. I need her. You're so wrong, it feels so right the way you hold me tight. Eyes open in the middle of the night. We grinding through high as fuck, just like we do when it's like we do it right. You're my passion lover, touches, kisses, neck and shoulder. Vodka bottle, empty, drunk in love. I need her. Take my hand, I'll walk with you. Take my heart, it belongs to you. Hold my soul, it loves you back. Never let go, it's a love like that. Yes. So addicted, overdose. Cocaine kisses, nose to nose. You're my lover, I'm your lover. In this room, there is no other. Take my hand, I'll walk with you. Take my heart, it belongs to you. Hold my soul, it loves you back. Never let go, it's a love like that. So conflicted, no one knows. Drunk in love, I'm comatose. You're my passion, I'm your passion. In this life, our love is last. So intoxicating. You're the winds of passion radiating. Cries of joy, sighs of love, your playtime toy, I do not judge. Amazing ways you keep for days. Trading favors, that's our way. Haters hate the way we play, but the rules we break in our lovers game. Trade it for nothing. You're in my soul, I need your love. You feel this power inside, you know it means something. In this life, you'll need for nothing. I'm a product of my heart's ambition to provide you all my love. Feels so wrong, it feels so right the way you hold me tight. Eyes open in the middle of the night. We grinding through high as fuck, just like we do when it's like we do it right. You're my passion lover, touches, kisses, neck and shoulder. Vodka bottle, empty, drunk in love. I need her. Feels so wrong, it feels so right the way you hold me tight. Eyes open in the middle of the night.
lover in this room, there is no other. Take my hand, I'll walk with you. Take my heart, it belongs to you. Hold my soul, it loves you back. Never let go, it's a love like that. So conflicted, no one knows. Drunk in love, I'm comatose. You're my passion, I'm your passion. In this night, our love is lasting. Feels so wrong, it feels so right. Feels so right, feels so right. We riding through highest hook just like we doing. Like we doing. You're my passion, lover. Touches, kisses, neck and shoulder, shoulder. Drunk in love, I need her. Feels so wrong, it feels so right. The way you hold me tight, eyes open in the middle of the night. We riding through highest hook just like we do. When it's like we do it right. You're my passion, lover. Touches, kisses, neck and shoulder. Pop your bottle, empty, drunk in love, I need her. Take my hand, I'll walk with you. Take my heart, it belongs to you. Hold my soul, it loves you back. Never let go, it's a love like that. Yes. So addicted, overdose. Cocaine kisses, nose to nose. You're my lover, I'm your lover. In this room, there is no other. Take my hand, I'll walk with you. Take my heart, it belongs to you. Hold my soul, it loves you back. Never let go, it's a love like that. So conflicted, no one knows. Drunk in love, I'm comatose. You're my passion, I'm your passion. In this night, our love is lasting.
That was TWIZM Whyte piece Overdose right here on the Xander Effect. Thank you so much, TWIZM, for being on the show. Hopefully we get to have you on again very soon with some new music. In sports, Brian Ortega apologizes for slapping Korean rapper Jay Park at the UFC event. Apparently, he went on Twitter to issue an apology saying, him tweeting, "I want to officially apologize to Jay Park for Saturday night. When Zombie is ready, we can fight." Now, here's the thing. Was he coerced to go ahead and apologizing to avoid any legal ramifications? Possibly, because there were reports that Jay Park's management was going to press charges against Brian Ortega. So there may have been the possibility that Brian had to go ahead and issue an apology. And apparently they checked with Jay Park's contacts, and they went ahead and said that he's doing fine. He was okay from the whole ordeal. It's not like he was permanently damaged or anything like that. His record label AOMG released a statement saying, quote, "We checked and it's true that Ortega tried to pick a fight. However, security acted quickly and he was forced out. We know fans are worried, but he is not injured at all. He has no issues to his health right now." So pretty much it was an open and shut issue. So far, Brian Ortega is still scheduled to go ahead and fight Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie. So in the featherweight division. So who knows? This might actually fuel the fight even more so than it was already. It was already a heated issue. So this might actually inspire Jung to get some more stuff going against Ortega very soon. In other sports news, Rob Gronkowski signs with the WWE and will debut on next week's SmackDown. The former tight end for the New England Patriots retired from the NFL and is now a WWE wrestler, apparently. The WWE has always been known for always hiring former athletes, former football players, former MMA fighters. So it's no surprise that they decided to hire Rob Gronkowski to go ahead and boost some ratings. I remember that Gronkowski was involved in a couple of matches, a couple of years ago. One was at a WrestleMania event where he went ahead and he tackled another WWE wrestler, Mojo Rawley. This is back at WrestleMania 33. He kind of speared him a bit. And plus, Mojo Rawley's also been, it's been known that Mojo Rawley was also friends with Rob Gronkowski, behind the scenes, obviously. So it's no surprise that Gronk has now become the newest member of the WWE roster. And it should be interesting to go ahead and see him and see what kind of character the WWE has decided to make him for, for wrestling, for sports entertainment. So we'll see what happens. We'll see exactly where all of this will lead very soon. In other sports news, a motocross event turns fatal as Staff Sergeant at Pope Air Force Base Samuel Ryan was killed trying to attempt a 20-foot jump at a motocross event at Lost Valley Motorsports Park in North Carolina. Apparently what happened was that he was trying to attempt this jump and he missed it. He actually miscalculated the landing, and he basically landed, but he was short of the landing, causing his whole entire body to go forward over the handlebars and land headfirst over the tire, causing pretty much death on impact at that point. So it was a very sad day in the world of motocross, and very sad for that entire family as well. Up next in video game news, E3 has been officially canceled. I'll go ahead and go through that. But first, up next, here is Uncle Swerve Africa, Gone, right here on the Xander Effect.
You know you're wrong, you're done. Waking up at 6 a.m. and now you say I'm gone. I'm blown up the phone, you don't listen, I'm alone. You know you're wrong, I'm gone. Yeah, I'm alright. You know you're wrong, you're done. I'm done. Waking up at 6 a.m. and now you say I'm gone. I'm blown up the phone, you don't listen, I'm alone. You know you're wrong. Get back, get back, get back. You know you're wrong, you're done. You know I'm done, right? You know you're wrong.
That was Uncle Swerve Africa's Gone, right here on the Xander Effect. In video game news, E3 2020 has been officially canceled due to coronavirus concerns. The ESA, the people that throw the E3 convention, put a statement out saying, after careful consultation with our member companies regarding the health and safety of everyone in our industry, our fans, our employees, our exhibitors, and our longtime E3 partners, we have made the difficult decision to cancel E3 2020, scheduled for June 9th through 11th in Los Angeles. Following increased and overwhelming concerns about the COVID-19 virus, we felt this was the best way to proceed during such an unprecedented global situation. We are very disappointed that we are unable to hold this event for our fans and supporters, but we know it's the right decision based on the information we have today. So that's a huge blow for a lot of gamers. That's a huge blow for a lot of gaming companies. Obviously, the coronavirus is something that is now officially become a pandemic, according to the World Health Organization. So many companies are taking precautions. Many, like I reported before, many amusement parks are also taking a lot of precautions. They've closed down a lot of amusement parks in the areas of Japan and in Europe, different areas, and it just, now, I mean, South by Southwest was officially canceled as well. As I said earlier today, Coachella and Stagecoach has been postponed. So many different things are going on, and E3, it was just a matter of time before E3 was going to be canceled as well. So who knows what's going to happen with any more events. WrestleMania's coming up. There was talks that WWE official Stephanie McMahon, the daughter of Vince McMahon, gave a statement think that they might actually end up having to also cancel WrestleMania. So there's a lot of worry about this virus, and with good reason. So we'll see what happens with any other events coming up. In other video game news, it looks like 2K Games is trying to get a second crack at Madden, at the NFL games, actually. Right now, as far as we know, EA has had its hands in the NFL games with Madden. So it seems that their contract, I mean, EA Games has an exclusive contract with the NFL to do their games until 2021. So once their contract is up, it seems like 2K Games is actually looking to possibly cash in on that and take over after their contract is up. So that's going to be really interesting because 2K Games always has a lot of really cool graphics and a lot of it doesn't screw up as much as Madden does. Madden lately, they've been kind of they've been trying their best, but at the same time, they haven't done the best job in helping out their players. There's been a lot of glitches with this Madden Ultimate Team 20. I even have a buddy of mine who pretty much got his account hacked on Xbox, and when he tried to go ahead and ask EA or tell EA, look, I got my account hacked, all my players are gone, EA just pretty much shrugged their shoulders and said, oh well, sorry, can't help you. That's not exactly something that you want to go ahead and tell your paying customers that, pretty much have not only paid for the game, they've also paid for in-store, in-game credits. That's not something that they want to hear. I would want to hear that. I'd be incredibly upset about that because that's not what I paid for. I paid for a certain service. So maybe it's a good idea for EA to take a break from the NFL and from football games, focus on other games, that they do better on. And that's the bottom line. Hopefully 2K will go ahead and get the contract for the NFL. That's the news in case you haven't heard it. Join me next time as my guest will be B. Taylor. He is one of the artists of the song with Flow Rida called Night of Your Life, which is also the theme song to the Xander Effect. He'll be here talking about his new single called It's On Me, and let me tell you, it's an amazing song. You're going to want to go ahead and listen in on that one. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
B. Taylor, Flow Rider, live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. You got the right to live. So go and live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. Let's start the live it up. Let's start the live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. You got the right to live. So go and live it up. Live like it's the night of your life. Let's start the live it up. Let's start the live it up.
Girl, I'm dangerous like tightrope. No talking, not that of a maestro. More like that lizard from Geico. When
The Xander Effect is powered by 50/50 Global Music Inc., BMG, and Sony Music The Orchard, in association with Art 19 Media.